Oh, ಒಂದು ಎರಡು ಆಯ್ತಾಯ್ತು. ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
Hello. Hello, everyone. We'll be starting shortly. I request everyone to please take a seat. And whoever's inside also. Speak louder. Mic is on. Now better. I was just announcing that whoever is outside, please come inside and sit, and we'll start shortly. Hello, everyone. A very good evening. May I request our chairperson to usher the dignitaries to the stage? Thank you. Once again, very good evening, everyone. On behalf of the DLN Rao Foundation, I warmly welcome all of you for this evening seminar on reimagining urban democracy, the 74th Constitutional Amendment, and the role of local government. The seminar continues on the Foundation's commitment to engaging with issues of public importance and civic responsibility. Thank you. To begin today's program, may I please invite Ms. Anita Patil to lead us on the invocation. शिवाभरणं घोररूपं पञ्च इन्द्रियतारकम् शिवाभरणं घोररूपं पञ्च इन्द्रियतारकम् इष्टजाग्रस्थिते नित्यं नागनागम् आश्रयेऽहम् इष्टजाग्रस्थिते नित्यं नागनागम् आश्रयेऽहं नागनागं नागनागं नागनागम् आश्रयेऽहं नागनागं नागनागं नागनागम् आश्रयेऽहम् सर्वरोगनिवारकं कुटुम्बभाग्यदायकं सर्वरोगनिवारकं कुटुम्बभाग्यदायकं गर्भस्तुतिरक्षकं नागनागम् आश्रयेऽहं गर्भस्तुतिरक्षकं नागनागम् आश्रयेऽहं नागनागं नागनागं नागनागम् आश्रयेऽहं नागनागं नागनागं नागनागम् आश्रयेऽहम्. Thank you. Thank you, Anita. Next, I'd like to invite Ms. Sabahat Sultanov to deliver the welcome address.
A very warm and pleasant welcome to everyone gathered here today. It is my honor and privilege to first welcome our esteemed guest, Honorable Justice Mrs. Anu Sivaraman. Ma'am, we appreciate you for accepting our invitation so graciously and for being with us here today. The youngsters present here are so fortunate to hear from you. I extend a heartfelt welcome to you, ma'am. I now request Sri DLN Rao, Senior Advocate, to kindly present a fruit basket and welcome ma'am. Thank you, sir. Dr. Ravindra has hands-on experience in today's subject. He is a very well-known speaker and very busy advising many local bodies. I extend a warm welcome to Dr. A. Ravindra and I request Sri DLN Rao, sir. I request Sri DLN Rao, Senior Advocate, once again to present a fruit basket and welcome, sir. I welcome Honorable Justice Hanchate Sanjeev Kumar. Sir, we welcome you wholeheartedly. A special and heartfelt welcome to all our senior counsels, advocates, and every distinguished guest who has joined us today. I also take this opportunity to welcome all the students from Soundarya School of Law and Bishop Cotton School of Law and teachers who are with us here today. Your presence adds great meaning to this gathering. We are honored to have each one of you here. Thank you, and once again, we all welcome to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabha. To introduce the theme and frame today's discussion, may I please invite Srimati S.R. Anuradha, Senior Advocate and Chairperson of the Dear and Ra Foundation, to outline the topic for this evening. Ma'am.
Honorable Justice Anu SIVARAMAN, Dr. Ravindra, Senior Advocates, my guru and guide of my profession, Shri Deelan Rao, students, advocates, and dear friends. I would like to break the protocol by giving pranams to my senior on this occasion for all the inspiration that he gives us each time we want to do something. A seminar that in-person seminars is where we have exchange of ideas. We've forgotten what it is to be in person, how the human feeling is. So that is the intention in having these kind of seminars. And I'm so delighted that so many of you have felt that this is a very important topic and taken time and come here today. Some of the cream of our bar is sitting here, and more so the bright women that we have sitting here on the stage and in front of the stage, who are going to give out bright ideas, which is more brighter than the festive lamps that are being lit. Kartik Masam, ma'am, now here in Bangalore. So in Bangalore, if you have faced certain potholes, fallen off a bike, if you have been stranded on the flyover, more than taking a shower or having a meal, or if you have been tired of seeing that garbage at the end of your street, then welcome to the governance part of our city. While many things are bad, there are equally many things that are good. But somewhere 30 years ago, the Constitution, we felt that changes need to be made to bring in the concept of having the people govern these bodies. And that was what the idea behind the 74th Constitutional Amendment. We have an expert in that field who's going to speak to us. The idea was simple, to have people make their local decisions. And if Gandhiji was alive, I think he would have said Swaraj should begin at the street corner. But past 3 decades now, we are still asking, where are this third tier or the actual local governance really happening? If I can share my personal experience, we have a petition which we filed for having better roads in the city. BBMP came, said, I am not only responsible, BWSSB also is responsible because they cut the roads. So we said, okay, call the BWSSB. So the BWSSB came and they said the electricity department is the culprit. So we brought the electricity department. Then they came, they said, no, it's the cable people who cut the road, and they are. So this is how it went all along, but the court did not lose its spirit. It said that every citizen has a fundamental right to have good motorable roads in the city. And it also directed the BBMP to constitute rules and make a committee to give compensation to people who die because of accidents on potholes. But that implementation is the biggest hurdle that we are seeing today in spite of court orders. So our expert will have to enlighten how we can have this executive orders, these court orders get executed. It's been 9 years since we've had elections to the BBMP. Ward committees were supposed to bring people together, give reports. Even in the decision that I spoke about, there was a direction to the ward committee to give reports every monthly or every 3 months once. It's been 10 years, we have never seen one single report. So what do? And that, I think, is the reason that we should have such interactions. Now, to top it all, we have Greater Bangalore Act. One of the committee of the committee members who were contributed for this Greater Bangalore Act is with us, but we are not going to put you in limelight or on spot. But on paper, it promises better administration, but in practice, it replaces elected representatives with appointed officials and placed most powers in the hands of Metropolitan Commissioner and a board dominated by bureaucrats and nominees. So the irony is hard to miss. Instead of strengthening the third tier, we might have just folded it back into the second. One wonders how we moved from government of the people to the government of paperwork. So here we are, a city with world-class IT parks, good gadgets, good budgets, and lot of money with the BBMP. So today's seminar is all about finding that missing spirit and asking honestly how the urban local government or the local people can govern this and have it more decentralized. Let's explore whether the dream of self-governance cities has faded or whether it can still be revived. How the Greater Bangalore Act will work, but the spirit, empowerment, accountability, participation seems to have gotten lost in the transit between Vidhana Saudha and BBMP offices. Let's try and have a exploring session on both the aspects of the Constitution and on the BBMP's working and the Greater Bangalore Act. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It is now my honor to invite our chief guest and keynote speaker, Honorable Justice Anu SIVARAMAN, Judge, High Court of Karnataka, to give you all a brief introduction. Her Lordship hails from Ernakulam, Kerala, and began her career after graduating from GLC Ernakulam. She served as standing counsel for the Corporation of Cochin. She's been senior government pleader and special government pleader before being appointed as judge of the High Court of Kerala in 2015. Her Lordship assumed office as judge of the High Court of Karnataka in March 2024. We are privileged to have your Lordship with us today to deliver the keynote address. Please, ma'am.
The very esteemed persons of the days, my brother and very esteemed persons we have in the audience today, advocates, senior advocates, law students, law officers. I'm truly privileged to be a part of such an august gathering and such a function of this nature, a seminar which seeks to explore the new enactment as well as the spirit of the 74th Amendment to our Constitution. Let me just take a few anticipatory bail applications, if I may say so. I don't intend today to talk about this new enactment because, as a matter of fact, I really did want to. When I was asked to talk about the 74th Amendment and the local self-governance in Bangalore, I made an attempt to look at the new enactment, and I was under the impression that I would be able to prepare to talk about it. But as a matter of fact, I failed miserably because honestly, I could not find the time. This is so, I start with that caveat. So I'm leaving it to a much more capable hand to talk about the BBMP Act, the new enactment, the Greater Bangalore Act, as well as what is wanting in both of those. So my caveat is, let me stick to the Constitution, to the 74th Amendment, and to what has gone before the BBMP Act. So, well, when the Constitution was first drafted, it did not have any provision in the initial draft, did not have any provision with regard to Local Self-Government at all. So when you read the Constituent Assembly debates, you notice that there is a demand for the local self-governance, the Gram Swaraj. That was it was all about the panchayats at that stage, because that was where the mass of Indians were. So there was a request, there was a demand that Gram Swaraj and Panchayati Raj should form a part of the Constitution itself. We have members like K. Shantaram, H.V. Kamath, and Mahavir Tyagi, most of all, calling for an inclusion of the provisions with regard to village panchayat and self-governance in the Constitution. The argument was that the exclusion of Gram Swaraj from the Constitution is a departure from the ideals of Gandhiji, the ideals of Gram Swaraj. But we also notice that the centralists, notably Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, felt that India was not ready at that stage for Gram Swaraj in the real sense. He felt that due to caste divergences and the lack of education, the Gram Sabhas would become areas, fresh areas of oppression. That was the feeling of the members of many of the members of the Constituent Assembly, led by Dr. Ambedkar himself. He said that what was required was a strong government at the center, which could lead the social and economic progress, which was the reason why the Gram Swaraj as an idea was excluded from the draft of the Constitution. Ultimately, as a measure of compromise, what was done was it was included as a directive principle of state policy at Article 40. So what was said was that the state would endeavor, so that this was a master plan for the future. It was felt that when the common man in the country became enlightened enough to do what he had to do as a member of a Gram Sabha, a municipal council, then it would be made into a reality. And that making into the reality was what happened by the 73rd and 74th Amendments. The 73rd Amendment, as you all know, is about the Gram Sabhas and the Panchayats. It is the 74th Amendment that we are concerned with standing in this teeming metropolis of Bangalore. So we won't go into the issues of the 73rd Amendment or the Gram Swaraj as such. We are talking about urban self-government. So the 74th Amendment, which came into effect in 1993, and the enactments which came thereafter, that is, the amendment said that the states are free to make enactments to carry out the objects of the amendment and Part 9A. 9A and Schedule 12. These are the inclusions by the 74th Amendment. Chapter 9A contains Articles 243P to 243ZG. It provides for Nagar Panchayat for a transitional area, Municipal Council for a smaller urban area, Municipal Corporation for a larger urban area. The areas are to be specified by notifications. There are provisions with regard to elections on ward basis and for delimitation as also for reservation of seats. 243T provides for reservation. All major subjects, including membership in municipal councils or corporations, powers and responsibilities, funds, taxes, audit, etc., are the basic elements are provided in Part 9 itself, 9A itself, I'm sorry. So what the groundwork is given in the Constitution itself, and the states are given the power to expand on the groundwork that is provided and to enact laws. The committees for urban planning are also provided in Part 9A. The 12th schedule, providing for the matters on which municipality shall have power and responsibility, are also provided by the 74th Amendment and has become a part of the Constitution. But what we must, this is for the students, not for the senior lawyers here. What we must understand is that it is not into a vacuum that the 74th Amendment was enacted. It is not as if there was no law for municipalities in India before the 74th Amendment was enacted. It is only that the constitutional backing for the urban self-government comes about by the 74th Amendment. There were, as a matter of fact, laws all over India for urban self-government, even long before the independence of India. So, as far as Bangalore is concerned, we notice that there were pre-independence laws in existence with regard to governance of municipalities in the erstwhile state of Mysore. There was an Improvement of Towns Act 1850, which was an enactment which provided for municipal boards and governing councils for town areas. As far as Bangalore is concerned, I feel that it is a speaker who has to make some research into a subject before giving a lecture on the subject, who is probably the most benefited by a lecture in this nature. Because I found out from my research for this talk that Bengaluru had two distinct areas. There was the Pete area, which was the town for the natives, and the cantonment, that is the British administrative area. I did not know this. This I came across only now because, as you know, I'm not a native of Bangalore. I'm not aware of the real history that has gone behind. At least I know, of course, I've heard of the exodus of people from the certain parts of British India in the early 1800s. And of course, I've read about the formation of the city in the 1500s by Kempegowda. These are matters that everybody knows. But to know that Bengaluru itself was actually two different municipalities, one the Pete area and the cantonment area, and was, as a matter of fact, governed by two different laws, it is something of a surprise to me. Well, I also come from a town where there is such a dichotomy in existence. In Ernakulam, we have, where I was born and brought up, well, we have the Ernakulam town, which is like the native place, native town, and the municipality where the natives are governing. And there was Fort Cochin, which was always, till the independence, governed by foreigners. It was first the Dutch, then the Portuguese, then the British. And it's only after independence that it became a part of the Corporation of Cochin. Till then, there were two distinct laws governing. So this is not something which is very strange to anybody who knows about colonial India. I won't say that I was ever part of colonial India. I cannot claim that. So there was In March 27th, 1862, the first municipal board for the city of Bangalore, that is the Pete area, was established. The board was formally legalized as the Bangalore City Municipality in 1881. Thereafter, regulations were made providing for elected representatives for the municipal council. The Mysore Municipal Regulation of 1906 provided for regulations to be framed in respect of different municipalities in the Mysore area. Bylaws for the Bangalore City Municipality were also framed under the provisions of the Mysore Municipal Regulations. So as far as this, it is all about the Pete area. The cantonment area was governed by the cantonment laws. Thereafter, post-independence, the City of Bangalore Municipal Corporations Act was enacted in 1949. That is when the integration really happens. And the Bangalore Municipal Corporation Areas Regulations provided for notifying the areas which are to be governed under the Act. Thereafter, as you know, the Karnataka Municipal Corporations Act 1976 was enacted. The Bangalore Mahanagara Palike was formed, and the Brihat Bangalore Mahanagara Palike Act came into effect in 2020. Now we have the Greater Bangalore Governance Act of 2024. So like I said, I don't intend to go into the details of either of those enactments. Those are matters for the expert to tell us on. So this has been the legal history of the municipal administration in Bangalore. So now to see what lacks. We know that just urban living does not mean, as in the case of any human living, it is not confined to an existence. When you talk about urban governance and urban planning, what we intend is that we must be able to plan in a reasoned and clear manner so that we foresee what is going to come in the future and we are able to make arrangements for that future today. That is the intention. Does it happen? That is another question. So it is not an animal existence that we are talking about when you talk about urban life. What you're talking about is a life where the human comforts, I don't just mean luxuries of human existence. I mean the comforts that are required for a human being to lead a normal, satisfied, contented life. Human life is not always satisfied or contented, but that is besides the point. What are the amenities required for a normal human life? Those are to be provided. That it is the responsibility of the urban body to see that those amenities are available so that the citizen can have a right to those amenities. Planning is something we do, taking into account what is likely to occur in the future and prepare ourselves for those contingencies. But when we try to see things as they are now and to take steps to solve only those problems which we see today, then we fall into the trap of just living for the day and not planning for the tomorrow. What is required is a vision of what the future will bring and a sincere attempt to see that we are equipped to deal with the issues that may and will arise in the future. So, well, what is ailing the urban administration in Bengaluru today? The speaker who just went before me just told you of the reasons and why we have these issues. Let me tell you, Anuradha, this is not something which is strange or alien or very typical to Bangalore. This is the problem with in differing degrees in any urban area. That the inability to plan into the future, the inability to really take sincere steps to see that what we do have today is protected. We have the issues of the lakes of Bangalore, the disappearing lakes, the disappearing open areas of Bangalore, the lung spaces. Well, let me tell you, this is true of every urban space. It is just that in Bangalore, it is so pronounced that you cannot miss it. I can only go back a little to my memories. I've been a visitor to Bangalore through the many years of my life. So my first visit, I remember, must have been in the 70s when I visited with my parents to visit a relative. Bangalore as it then was a quaint and beautiful city with its tree-lined roads, with its open spaces, with lakes all around which could not be missed, and the weather. Well, there is no telling you how pleasant it was for somebody from coastal Kerala to come here and experience the weather. It was such a beautiful experience. I had the occasion to come here again in 1986 as a young bride. And I also remember the heartwarming nature of the city as it was then. I've brought my children here, and they've always been enamored by the city, and they always want to come back here. But then, what has changed in all these years? I can most definitely tell you that the weather has changed. That beautiful feeling of the pleasantness, that, well, it is still there. I don't say that it has gone for good or anything. I don't venture. But then, well, it is not the same as it was. Definitely not the same as it was 20 or 30 years back, 20, 30 or 40 years back. And there has been unthinking felling of trees. There has been loss of the open spaces. Well, some of it, I know, cannot be avoided. When the population grows beyond control, some of it is unavoidable. The loss of some of our open spaces, some of the lakes, some of it is unavoidable. But is it actually unavoidable to this extent? Is there nothing that can be done? Then what are we talking about? In terms of urban governance, urban planning, we have all the provisions in place. So what is missing? Obviously, is the will. The will does not come from just the governors. The will has to come from the people too. So it is when the people as a whole, when they stand up and respond and stand up and protest, when these open spaces or the beauty of a city is taken for granted and completely annihilated, it is now for each and every resident of this beautiful city to protest and to do what we can to see that the city is saved for the future generations. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Lordship. May I now introduce our next speaker, Dr. Ravindra IAS, who was formerly Chief Secretary to the Government of Karnataka. Dr. Ravindra has had a distinguished career in public policy, having served twice as the Commissioner of the Bangalore Municipal Corporation, and he was also the chairman of BDA, or the Bangalore Development Authority, and he has held several key positions including at the BWSSB, Bangalore Water Supply and Sewerage Board. Post-retirement, he has continued his engagement with public policy as Deputy Chairman of the State Planning Board, as the Senior Visiting Fellow at IIM Bangalore, and as the head of the Center for Sustainable Development. We are delighted to have him with us here today, and I invite him to share his reflections. So.
Honorable Justice SIVARAMAN, DLN Raw Foundation, was the founder of the foundation, and Anuradha, chairperson of the foundation. All the law community, may I say, legal luminaries, students of law, and all other experts. So I'm really privileged to address the legal community today. I mean, a rare opportunity. Well, today's topic is of great contemporary relevance. Today we are probably, especially Bangalore or Namma Bangalore, I think the debate is raging on the GBI Act, 74th Amendment, Tunnel Road, and so on and so forth. So it's very timely that you organize this meet or a conference. Well, I had the opportunity of working in the different civic organizations in Bangalore. As was introduced, I was Commissioner Bangalore City Corporation. Then now it was later changed to BBMP, chairman of BDA and the other organizations. I was also secretary of urban development. And later I was also associated with the community, in the sense that a lot of NGOs, resident associations, etc. In fact, even when I was in the service, that is when I was commissioner of the corporation, realizing this importance of people's participation, which Madam was emphasizing, and I myself, out of my own experience, because I found every day when I sat in the office, so many people would come with grievances. And when I asked them, why do you come for even small things to me? I mean, it can be an important role. So I set up what is called Swabhimana. It was a platform which brought together the civic agencies, especially the Bangalore City Corporation, the BDA, and people's representatives, resident associations, some NGOs, and a few others. And we started having dialogues about what are their problems, how to solve them amicably, and all that. And we tried to do something. And for instance, initially we took up solid waste management. Waste has been a problem throughout. And for the first time, door-to-door collection of garbage started. It was during when I introduced that. Similarly, so many other initiatives were done. And of course, Madam was tracing the history of Bangalore, how it has evolved, and what was once beautiful is, at least they say, what is that, garden city to garbage city. I will not use that, a very extreme expression. We still have gardens. It's not just Lal Bagh and Kaman Park I'm referring to. We have, the uniqueness of Bangalore is that almost every locality has a park. whether it is small or big. Even now you find everywhere. And even in the people are associated with a kind of a garden culture, I would say. Because I remember even, say, from the 50s and 60s, because I grew up in Bangalore, even houses, they had small gardens. Now all gardens are gone, houses are gone, commercial complexes have come up. That's a different thing. So even a small house, some pots, even now like this, they all have. So that culture was there. But then from the 1970s, rapid growth started. So that is where, when for the first time, Bangalore registered 76% growth, decadal growth. So the population went up from some 2.9 million to 4.1, and then subsequently in other decades, crossing 1 crore in the 21st century. So Bangalore has become what is called a mega city. See, any city with a population of 1 million and more is called a metropolitan city. When it crosses 10 million or a crore, it becomes mega city. So we have about half a dozen in India, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata, Delhi, and like that. So the problems are common everywhere. Let us realize that the reason is rapid urbanization. Urbanization growth was very slow in India. Many people keep using the rapid urbanization is only recent. Earlier, we are all, even now, nearly 65% of the population live in rural areas. But there is a lot of migration. So urbanization is increasing now at a rapid rate. And why do they come here? People come from not only neighboring states, but from northern states, UP, Bihar particularly, Odisha, etc., in search of jobs. Migration is essential because I have had some contact discussions even with people coming from there working. I asked them, why are you coming here? Don't you find work there? Sir, no, it's very difficult to find work. Even if we get work, the salary or the wages we get is so small. See, here, straight away they get 15,000, 20,000, 25,000, which they can never dream of in their places. So they come here, stay alone, they send something to their families, and then they manage here. So, first point we need to understand is the challenges of urbanization. Urbanization is spreading all over India, and we are facing these problems in almost all cities. More so in Bangalore because the rate of Bangalore's growth has been very high compared to other cities. Number one. Secondly, in Bangalore, what has happened is the number of motor vehicles is also increasing very, very rapidly. Next to Delhi, Bangalore has the highest number of vehicles. Not even Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata and all. Mostly, again, two-wheelers. You will zigzag and just go past, creating traffic problems. You find, why every day there are accidents? What does it indicate? It's not merely the growth in population, but the attitude of the people, is the concern for others. People seem to lack concern. As the city has grown, we seem to be becoming more artificial. So these are type of problems. I can go on the challenges of urbanization. But now the theme is more important. 74th Amendment and GBA Act. 74th Amendment, Madam has already covered. Yes, just a couple of words about that. You see, for a long time, as she said, we didn't have a third tier of governance recognized under the Constitution. So for the first time, it was only center and states. Central government, state government, list A, list B, state, central subjects, state subjects, concurrent subjects. It was in 90s. Actually, the movement for decentralization to local authorities started in late 80s when Rajiv Gandhi was the Prime Minister. He also, it is not that they are really, I would say, interested in devolving powers. But, the occasion demanded that the Prime Minister had to show something big, especially as champion of decentralization. And a lot of groundwork was done. I know the history. But unfortunately, Rajiv Gandhi died. The law could not be passed at that time. So it was later, during Narasimha Raw's time, 92, 93, 1992, 73rd Amendment for Panchayati Raj, rural area. 93, Urban Decentralization, 74th Amendment Act. See, the 74th Amendment Act, the objectives and the spirit are all very good. It says for local democracy, urban local government. So it said, but the wordings in the 74th one, this is very important to understand why full decentralization has not taken place. See, it has left to discretion to the state governments, as you already pointed out. So the wordings used are, the state government may devolve such functions as deemed necessary to the urban local bodies. This is the thing. So it is the discretion of the state government. State government, is not keen on devolving power. Simple. See, the main reason is that, urban areas are becoming important. Cities have a lot of wealth. The land prices in cities are growing. Even now, so difficult to buy a piece of land. That's why BDA sites are in such demand. And you know what goes on there. It's not so easy. So, the urban wealth, particularly in major cities, is such that those holding power at the state, they are reluctant to part with that power. That is the crux of the problem. But however, because this was a constitutional amendment, people went to the court. Even High Court of Karnataka said you implement. And the 12th schedule, there are 18 functions which are supposed to be vested in the municipalities, urban local bodies. But then there is a point to say not all functions have been devolved. Although it is listed, the local acts were amended to conform with the constitutional provisions. But it has also created some confusion in the list of functions. So of course, solid waste management, garbage collection, fire fighting, all the cleanliness of the streets, health, sanitation. But there are certain items, like for instance, it says urban and town planning. See, urban planning is done by the state government. There is a Karnataka Town and Country Planning Act. Every state has a Town and Country Planning Act, which looks after the planning functions. So there is a kind of overlap. See, they are not allowed. Mostly it's all done by the state government. Similarly, there is a economic and social planning. Planning again is a state level subject, but you need a plan for the city also. So these are all some of the issues which the 74th Amendment has thrown up. And now coming to the GBA, which is I think more important now. As Madam pointed out earlier, we had Karnataka Municipal Act, then Municipal Corporation Act. For a long time, the Bangalore Corporation or the BBMP was under the Karnataka Municipal Corporation Act. Until BBMP Act was passed separately a few years back. Now they have passed the Greater Bangalore Authority Act, GBA. First place, GBA has no place in the Constitution. In a way, it is unconstitutional because the GBA has created another body called Metropolitan Planning Committee, MPC. So the MPC's function but there also they have not given full powers to the MPC. The 74th Amendment says the MPC Metropolitan Planning Committee shall prepare a draft development plan and submit it to the government for approval. I mean, this is again vague, It is not full autonomy. Okay, that is at least, there is a planning committee that is recognized under the Constitution. Now here, what happens now? Under the GBA Act, GBA's functions, if you look at, I'll just, for your information, see, the objectives are all very, grand, very well laid out. I just, in the preamble to the GBA Act says, an act to provide for core principles, institutions and processes for effective urban governance in the Greater Bangalore area. Established Greater Bangalore Authority, etc., etc. But what I want to draw your attention is to, it says, improve the quality of life of all citizens by instituting a decentralized, participative, efficient and equitable governance framework for Bangalore. Now, mark these words. It says instituting a decentralized. There is no decentralization. There is more centralization. GBA is an example of centralization, not decentralization. Because even under the earlier act, there is a municipal corporation. At least today you don't even have an elected body. See, the absence of elected bodies, the state government can do what it wants. It is going ahead with a huge project called Tunnel Road, 17 to 20,000 crores, without consulting the people. So, where is decentralization? One, participative, there is no public participation. And a lot of people, in the sense NGOs, other communities, they are raising their voices here and there. They go to the Freedom Park or Lal Bagh and make speeches. But the government doesn't seem to take note of it. They're just going ahead. That is one. Efficient and equitable governance. So where is equitable governance? So this is the first point that we need to note about the GBA Act. Second, what is the framework of the GBA Act? For instance, it says it lays down a three-tier structure. Number one, GBA, that is Greater Bangalore Authority at the apex level. Then there are the municipal corporations. What was one corporation has now been made into 5 corporations for different zones, whatever it is. And at the third tier is the ward committee. Now, ward committee, okay, first GBA, what is the composition? Composition, Chief Minister is the chairman, Bangalore Development Minister is vice chairman, and there are the others, MPs, MLAs in Bangalore area. They are all there, and the officials, chief executives of all parastatals, BDA, BWSSB, BESCOM, etc., as ex officio members. They are not elected. So it's not a fully elected body, as it should have been. So that's why it's called authority. So, okay, that is one important point to be taken note of. Now, so the second is that the functions. When you come to functions, the GBA, first it's a strategic planning, spatial and comprehensive planning. It's a planning as a whole. See, as of now or till recently, BDA or Bangalore Development Authority was the city planning authority. It used to prepare the master plan. Now that planning function has been taken away from BDA to GBA, but the details are not clear how they will do it and all that. Similarly, it is supposed to provide interagency coordination because there are multiple organizations. So coordination, approval and oversight of large infrastructure projects. So even after the elected body comes into being, the approval of infrastructure projects like this tunnel road or flyover or arterial roads or big water supply projects, electricity projects, they'll all be done by GB. Equitable distribution of financial and natural resources. This is very interesting. Now the municipalities, the local bodies are starved of funds. Now they have only one source of raising revenue, that is the property tax. But how much they can go on raising the tax, property tax? And after the GST came, even the discretion that state had, through commercial taxes, sale tax and all, increasing, that has also gone. So it has to depend on government grants on the one hand and property tax on the other. So how will this equitable distribution of resources take place is another important thing. And the other coordination matters and all. So what is important is that now governance. How is the city governed and what are the challenges of governance in a city like Bengaluru? Now, as I said, 74th Amendment provided for decentralization that has not fully taken place. Now, the corporations are left with functions like waste management, not even water supply is a function under the 12th schedule. It must rest with the municipal corporation, but there is a separate parastatal. So parastatals are another parallel organism. For all other premier services, water supply, electricity, public transport, all of them are managed by parastatals. Independent corporations or boards or whatever it is. They're not with the municipal corporation. So the elected body in effect is left with very few so-called municipal functions or city functions. So that's why when there are too many agencies, it gives rise to coordination problems. That's why you'll find, see, when somebody comes and digs a road for laying a water pipeline or whatever it is, that even for us as people, we ask when we build a house, you say what? From that end of the road to this end, you'll dig and leave. Bangalore water supply. And that is all. You see, it is restoring it. There is always a conflict between the municipal corporation and the water board because they say roads are the responsibility of the municipal corporation. We only lay the line for water supply. So, in spite of coordination attempts, I have also tried. It works, it doesn't work. I mean, these sort of confusing problems in coordination are there. So, what are the issues? I mean, looking at the future, because I find the topic given is very interesting. Reimagination, urban democracy. So, what is the reimagination you want to do? That means the future. Well, how should urban democracy be in reality, in truth? First of all, democracy is rule of the people, by the people, etc., which is not there. And urban, in the sense, there are so many agencies, and since parastatals means controlled by the state government. So, effectively, it is a state government which rules a city, leaving some kind of residual functions to the municipal corporation, always blamed for not collecting garbage or keeping the city clean or cleaning up a lake and so on and so forth. And so without adequate powers and functions, you cannot expect a municipal corporation to function effectively. And resources. See, the two things are very important in managing any organization. One is financial resources. Second is human resources. Do you have the capacity? You look at any city corporation, smaller cities particularly. See, where does it have really? Does it have traffic engineers? Does it have good town planners? Does it have financial managers? Professionally trained, I mean. So that is the reason why many municipalities are unprofessionally managed, almost in any state. So that is the state of affairs. So what we need, of course, is that I would say, in my own view, if you really want more effective decentralization, maybe the 74th Amendment itself requires an amendment. You need to revisit the 74th Amendment Act, and people have to take it. State government will never bat for it. So the others, people's voice must be raised to say that the constitution must provide for proper decentralization. Don't give discretion to the state government. Although I agree in spirit, it is only right that the state should do that. According to the constitution, we are a federation, but quasi-federal state, and all that I'll not go into. So there we have to, so that they have real effective powers, the local bodies. And similarly, planning, metropolitan planning committees' functions have to be clarified. There is a need for greater clarity. See, merely preparing a plan and sending it to state government doesn't make any meaning. They have to be given the authority to prepare the plan and approve the plan and coordinate. So you can call it Metropolitan Planning and Coordination Council or body with adequate powers. So if these measures are necessary in the first place. Secondly, I would say, there are so many issues, because of lack of time, I'll not go into the details. I would say reimagining urban democracy would mean drawing up a reimagined, a revised urban agenda. We need a new urban agenda. What do the people want? How do you want your city to be? You say, yes, Bangalore was so good at that time, now it is so bad. So what do you want it to be in the future, number one? And how do you achieve that? That's a very complex question, I would say. Urban governance is not easy, all said and done. People may go on criticizing, because in the hot seat I have tried my best to succeed to some extent, but that is where I would say you need leadership counts. Visionary leadership for a city, but then do our cities have a leader at all? If you know who are the leaders at the national and state level, who is the leader of the nation? The Prime Minister, whoever it is. Leader of the state, Chief Minister. Leader of the city, what is the answer according to you? Mayor. But what are mayor's powers? That is the question. Mayor had a 1-year term. Now they made it 2.5 years, 30 months. It used to be called as a 1-year boneless wonder. Mayor used to be called a boneless wonder for 1 year or 2 years in some other cities and all that. So, if you want effective local governance, reimagining would be that you make the local government or the urban city corporation a really autonomous body with executive powers. So the mayor, why not we have a directly elected mayor for 5 years? That's what I have proposed in a number of my reports also. See, the world or in many other countries, actually this GBA, Bangalore, Greater Bangalore Authority, was in a way it is adopted or copied from London, Greater London Authority. Some experts, went into this. There was a committee. They studied. There is a Greater London Authority, but the basic difference is the mayor of London, GBA, LGA is an elected mayor. You will find mayors are very powerful, whether it is London or New York or some other western cities. Not just that, I must bring to your notice, even a country like China, where there is supposed to be authoritarian leadership. They have decentralized a lot of powers to the city governments. The city mayor and the city council or whatever it is, they take a lot of decisions, including decisions to enter into, agreements with foreign governments for execution of certain projects. Here, the question is to be asked, what sort of powers must be vested? Then only when there is a city leadership, there is also pride for the people, saying that there is a leader. And those people, even the corporation councillors, they'll feel a sense of, cohesiveness. In New York, when there was that famous 9/11 happened, they went and destroyed those twin towers. Who was the person who came on the TV? The face on the TV was the mayor of New York, not the president, not the governor of New York. When Giuliani was the mayor, every day he used to come and reassure the people, saying that yes, this has happened, we are trying to rebuild, instill confidence in the people. Here in the city, see, it is so desperate. That's why you go on blaming each other. There is no cohesive leadership. So I would say appeal to even all of your legal community, which is quite vocal in so many ways, isn't it? You must, maybe your foundation can take it up. How to build local leadership for the city, so that initiative is taken by us, then only participative governance is possible. Participation. Yeah, it is extremely important. And fortunately, Bangalore has a good number of resident association, NGOs. They do raise their voice. They publish a number of articles, papers. But they need to come together and then, raise the voice. So I think I'll stop here because I can go on. But I think Anuradha suggested there can be some discussion or questions after the session. So thank you very much for inviting me, allowing me to share my ideas. Questions welcome.
Thank you, sir. We can maybe have a couple of brief questions if anyone has. Maybe raise your hand and we'll pass a mic. If not, we can move forward with. I think there's a question there. You can just pass the mic.
Good evening, sir. That was a very enlightening session. You did not tell us what is your vision of Greater Bangalore. So just I want to understand what is that you have in mind.
My vision, huh?
Yes.
My vision. Just my vision or your individual vision. It is the people vision that is important. See, that's why actually, let me tell you, see, the smart city project you have heard? Smart cities project. Government brought in the smart cities project some 10 years back. Then they said we will do first people's consultation. So each corporation or even a small municipality gave an opportunity to people. They fixed meetings to come and share their vision about their city. So that was more a formality. Nothing much came out of it because they had to go through. But anyway, at least there was some framework, the vision, the objectives, then the methods, what to do about it. So I thought first I must listen to your vision before I tell you my own. Yeah, first I think, yes, please. How do you want the city to be? Right. I think you must, or you can come here in front, no problem.
That's kind enough for you to pass on the question back to me. Yes, as a citizen and resident of Bangalore, my immediate requirement is to not have less traffic and clean drinking water during summer throughout Bangalore, whether you're staying outside Bangalore or inside the corporation. Those are the two immediate requirements that I am facing as a citizen. So beyond this, I have not thought through, and your question will maybe lead me to think that in future. Hence, I asked you the question, what is your vision? I do not have vision and I haven't thought through that. But now that you have asked me, I will think through that.
No, you have already said 2 or 3 important things like clean drinking water. is a very, very important thing. And no garbage, clean city. So these are part of. Vision is not just one particular statement that can be made. Usually they say a city that is clean, green, and all that. People participation. That is usually. But then each aspect of that vision to be translated into action. That is the real problem. Let me ask you: Do you have clean drinking water? Do you get in your house and where you stay? Clean drinking water you have? Yes or no?
No, we are reliable on the bore well. There is no water connectivity from the corporation.
Okay. I think
Though there is an order from the Honorable High Court, still we don't have the water connection from the corporation. Kaveri water is not supplied.
I am not on the question of water. Just can I put one more question back to you?
Please.
You said you want less traffic in the city.
Yes.
Are you ready to forego your own vehicle for one person, one car
I
system?
commute by by metro.
Yes. Will you, as a matter of fact, think of maybe when you have to take a car, will you think of sharing a vehicle?
Yes. So yes,
So
I want to.
it is for each one of us. If
Yes.
we can make those adjustments in our lifestyles, maybe we can make Bangalore better.
Thank you for the question. And
it's great civic sense.
1 second, sir.
1 second, you'll get the mic.
I think we had another question there from the student. Can I just take hers first?
Yeah.
Sir, as
Hold the mic close.
sir, am I audible? Sir, as grassroots level democracy comes through participation, and for me, the vision. I would like to answer to your question, sir. The participation comes through education, awareness among the people, and those civil society
Closer,
organizations.
I'm not able to. Keep the mic close.
Sir, as grassroots level democracy or urban governments come through participation of the people. And this participation only comes through the awareness when the people are aware about the issues and the education system and all the civil society NGOs, when they become the voice of the people instead of becoming the voice of the elected bodies, sir. So I wish to see the vision by developed education to the people. In this way, I would like to tell that my vision for the greater Bengaluru, sir. I think.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Now.
Thank you so much. Maybe one last question, sir.
Yeah. One more question I'll take, and then people participation. There, and then one last.
Sir, you told about Greater London's mayoral elections. Directly, they elect the mayor. Like here, we have the corporators will elect a mayor. What is the perception that in London they declare before the election itself he will be the mayor candidate or what? Like our councillors here, usually councillors will elect the mayor.
Yeah.
What is the position in Greater London? How they are going to declare before the election or how it is?
I'll answer that. And last, at the end.
Yes.
So thank you for the great ideas that you shared, sir. So my query is like the urban reimagining urban democracy. So we are all mostly what I heard from the talk is about Bangalore only. So cities doesn't mean only the capital, right? Like cities also are Belgaum, cities also Mysore, Bangalore. So why aren't we not talking about the tier 2 and tier 3 cities? There's like obsession with the capital cities, Bangalore. So I would like to see more of the second tier and third tier cities come up as equals, not like second class cities. Thank you.
All right. Okay, there are 3 questions have been raised. Number 1, people's participation. How do you see? Even under the Act, there is what is called a ward committee. See, ward committee is for each ward, It's where one councillor gets elected. The councillor is the chairman of the ward, and there are other members of the community, local community are supposed to be members. So, but there is controversy whether they should be selected, elected, and all that. That is the forum for people's participation. Even others can go and visit and raise questions and all that. So there is a forum, but that by itself they have not been functioning well anywhere in India, mostly, except perhaps in Kerala. Kerala is a model of local governance and local autonomy. Leave out that others. So here, other thing is that people must form their own association. So you have resident welfare association. In Bangalore, there are a number of them, about at least 300. Some of them function well and are able to get things done for their ward. But some of them, of course, are not so. So that is where you can participate, raise issues and all. So there are different forms of local participation. And similarly, one can raise issues for policy changes. I'll give you one example. For instance, there is what is called participatory budgeting in Brazil. In Brazil cities, so that is before the budget is finalized by the corporation, which says these works to be taken up, water supply, roads, transport, etc. They have to prepare a draft budget and then put it before the people. They call a town hall or something. Anybody can come. They take into consideration what they say and then revise the budget. So there is a form of participatory budgeting. Similarly, participatory planning. These are all there. There are methods of doing it. That's where people must take up and raise voice, saying that these forums must be set up. That is one. Secondly, your question on mayor, London mayor. London mayor is directly elected. But see, London also has smaller corporations, boroughs and all that, below that. But mayor is at the apex. He manages the whole city. But then this greater London authority has basically 2 or 3 functions. One is planning. So planning for the entire London is taken care of, because planning is a macro level function. You can't plan, although there is need for, like, say, ward development plan and all that. Ultimately, it has to be put together. That is one. And then London transport. So transport again is a city-wide thing. You have a metro running from one end to the other, buses here and there. So these 2 major function and coordination and all. So he derives a lot of powers and he has financial powers. So there is a good setup there, administrative setup and financial. That is and similarly in many other cities, as I said, they are directly elected, and even in a place like Indonesia. And that is them. The third, about your question about, what did you say? Yeah. No, I agree with you. But the topic for today was focus on GBA, Greater Bangalore Authority Act. But I am for it. Actually, I have always argued that one of the methods of trying to decongest large cities like, say, Bangalore, overcrowding, if you develop tier 2 and tier 3 cities, and then migrant should go there rather than here. Okay, let us take the example of Mysore and Hubli Dharwad. These are the 2 largest cities next to Bangalore. See, for a long time, its population has not increased at all. See, for 2-3 censuses, it was 8 lakhs, 9 lakhs. Maybe now it might have crossed 10 lakhs and metropolitan. So why? Because you see, a city to grow, that means to attract migrants, it should create jobs. That is the key. Today, all over India, that is the most important thing economically. Employment, jobs, lack of jobs. So why do people come to Bangalore, especially IT industry? So many investors come because it creates jobs, it creates wealth. So those places also, we need to develop them economically. Then people will go there. Otherwise, if you just say, okay, some good roads and water supply, that will not help. Create jobs, create infrastructure, people will automatically go. Yeah, I agree with you. We must develop tier 2 and tier 3 cities. Only then Bangalore can also get digitized. Thank you.
Sorry, we won't be able to take more questions. We're out of time. Yes, thank you for the questions, and thank you to our speakers for answering gracefully. That brings us to the end of the seminar. On behalf of the DL and Rao Foundation, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest and keynote speaker, Honorable Justice Anu Shivaraman. I'd like to request ma'am to please give her a token of her appreciation. Our sincere thanks also to Dr. Ravindra for sharing his insights and drawing from his experience in public administration. Thank you, sir. I'd also like to acknowledge Justice Hanchate Sanjeev Kumar is here. Thank you for joining us, sir. As we mentioned earlier, we have students of Soundarya College of Law and Bishop Cotton's Women's Christian College today. We have the CEO of Soundarya College of Law, Mr. Kirtan Kumar. I would also like to request you to come and accept a token of our appreciation. Ma'am. And I'd also like to welcome Ms. Devika J. from Bishop Cotton's Law College to accept a token of our gratitude. I would also like to express my deep gratitude to the Honorable Chief Justice of the High Court of Karnataka for granting us the privilege of holding this seminar in the Patron-in-Chief Hall, and to the Registrar and the staff for their generous support in the logistics. A warm word of appreciation also to the dignitaries and the senior advocates who have joined us here today. And I can also see some members of the civil society who have joined us here today. Thank you for joining us. And thank you, all of you, for your presence and engagement. Have a good evening ahead. Thank you.
ನಂಬರ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ವಾಟ್ಸಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಯ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಳಿಸಿ. ಏನೇಟ್ ಫುಫಿ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಮೇಲೆ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿ. ಮೇಡಮ್ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಬಿಡಿ. ನಿಮಿಷ ಲೈವ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲ ಆಡಿಯೋ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಒಂಚೂರಿಂದ